Hi guys. Can you write pluses if you hear me, please? If you hear and see the presentation, please write plus plus in the chat. I don't see anything strange. Now I see. Okay, super. Then we can start now. I'm really glad to see you today here with us, and we will talk today about web development, and I will explain some basic stuff what we are doing in this field, and I will show you in the end of our webinar a little bit coding, what exactly the work of like usual web developer who creates markup for websites. Okay, so here we have presentation. Sometimes I will open another window and show you examples. So let's firstly I will explain who I am and why I'm talking with you exactly. I'm a web developer. I'm working in this area like around 13 years already, and I will explain exactly what I'm doing with this laptop, usually at my work. Here even I had 2 laptops for testing as well. Then during my career, after several years, I became a speaker. It means that I started to share my knowledge with another developers. It's usually I do it on conferences or meetups. And here in Luxembourg, we have Luxembourg JS meetup. I'm one of organizer now of this meetup. And yeah, actually I live in Luxembourg, but originally I'm from Russia. So firstly I was at Moscow JS meetups and a lot of Russian conferences, and then I started to be speaker at English speaking conference. And it's very interesting actually, because you can share your knowledge, and also you can meet with awesome people who are really in the same field with you. And later, a little bit later, I became a teacher, like instructor, and I started to teach people how to do my job. Why I started to do it? Because I think that my field is very popular, and I'm glad to give this knowledge to a lot of people who want to change their profession, for example, or also we have designers who work close to us, to web developers. We have designers, and sometimes they need this knowledge about how to build web pages. So we explain to them as well. And then I had special course for girls in Russia, in Moscow, this photo from this course. And also I had several courses for children. Yeah, I have several years experience of teaching with my own course, and as well I was mentor in some other schools. Okay, what is web development? And also what I want to say is that I will sometimes make a stop and answer to your questions. So you can write a lot of questions in our chat, on YouTube. And so after like 10, I don't know, 15 minutes, I will make a stop and look at your questions. Okay, so web development. You know that a lot of people use internet nowadays. So if you look at statistics, then we have around 4.5 billion people who use internet. It's unique people. And we have around 6-7 billion people in the world. So you understand how many people we have involved in this area of web internet. We all use websites almost each day, I think, and even at your work or during our usual life, and we use them via our iPhones and Android phones, it doesn't matter, our small devices, our tablets, and as well with desktop. Sorry, I have cat near here. He wants to go and be a star today as well. Okay, how it works. We have when you put URL address like www.google.com, you put it in your browser, and then you, after like several seconds or milliseconds, you see website in your program. But how it works? It means that when you ask from browser this URL, you have some kind of request and go to the server, and then this server gives you back some data. We will talk later what kind of data exactly, but the idea like this, that we go to some remote server, maybe in absolutely another country, but the data stored there, and then you download some of them to your computer, to your device, to your phone, and look at this page. Why we interested in web development area? Why it's so popular actually now? First of all, because our area has good salaries, quite good. Actually, I think that all developers, IT staff, we have quite good salaries. For example, if we talk about developers who create applications for Windows, for macOS, maybe they have bigger salaries than in web development sometimes. But it actually depends, because if we talk about Facebook, for example, company, or Amazon company, yes, it's very big companies, and they also have very good conditions to live. So second reason why you want to be a web developer is because you can work remotely. So you can work from the sea. For example, I personally like the sea, and also you can work from home. And during this COVID situation, it was quite convenient that all IT companies, they just went to home. All their employees sent them to home, and we were able with our laptops work without any changes actually in our life, just less small chats with colleagues. Third reason, as I think, is that you can be a creator. When you're a developer, you develop something new, and it's actually amazing because you create new products, and sometimes these products could be very, very popular, and or you can start work in startup, and if the destiny of this startup will be good, then you also will be in very good conditions. So especially if you were from the beginning there, so you have maybe even some part of the company in such cases, and yeah, it could be really also really good opportunity for you. And this feeling inside when you not just consume something, like, yeah, we're all consumers, we're all use website as users, but actually you can create websites, and when you learn one programming language, later you can learn new one programming language. And when you know already like several, it's not a problem to deal with more, because you understand the logic. Yes, a lot of languages, they have their different features, unique features, but it doesn't matter. It means that you have this, like, you think like a programmer, you understand different patterns of different languages. It would be easier after some time. Fourth reason is that when you develop something, when you write code, you think a lot, and actually you are very, I think it's like good exercises for your brain. You're always in some process. You're always thinking how to make this better, how to do it with good performance, for example, how to load website faster. You always think about different ways, even how to do it. Of course, in other professions, it could be the same. How to do this thing, you have several choices, right? But in our profession, we have sometimes quite tricky tasks, and you need time to think and to build some algorithm in your mind to understand how it would be better to create this program. And so it's good, like learning new languages. It's also very good exercise. And last reason what I see now is that it's in trend. Web development is so popular that if even some company, I don't know, fired you, or because of their bankruptcy or something, I don't know, it could be any reason, but you always can find a job, always. There is no problem, because we in this area we always need developers. So it's cool. Okay, let's talk about professions in web development. And again, if you have some questions, don't hesitate to ask and to write your questions. Okay, first of all, you think that web development, it's like just designer who draws pictures, right? You need to understand what you need on your website, and then programmer who does all things, like write all code. But it's not always like this. It could be possible. Sometimes even if programmer has designer skills, he can just imagine website and draw it by draw some sketch and then create website. And the same it could be by designer. If designer learn a little bit of coding, or maybe a designer used some tools that he doesn't need to know all web development from scratch, and you can use for this. I will show you later what exactly. And designer also can create website using tools, no problem with it. Depends what kind of result they want. So, for example, designer can use WordPress, or the same as Joomla, if you heard, and there is Tilda, and actually now there are a lot of different tools to create a website with like 15 minutes or something like this. But what kind of website you can create? It's usually not very customizable and not very adaptive to your needs. So if you want some special service with some logic inside your website, not just usual static website about your company where you have just pictures and text. If you need some service when you can do and some processes should be done with some data maybe, or it's a game, for example, something like this. So it's not easy. You cannot create this website with WordPress or Tilda. You need real developers who will build it from scratch. So you can use it and you can save time. And actually in our school we want to create a course with WordPress. Why? Because there are a lot of people who don't want to go deeply into coding, but they need website now as soon as possible. So WordPress is a good solution, and also I help people with building their website sometimes with WordPress. Why? Again, why? Because people want to support their websites quite often by themselves, so they don't need to pay each month to some company to do it. But again, it should be just some simple website, static, usually. So let's go deep with profession web designer. I want to tell you that there are like now two different types of web designing. So it's user experience designer and user interface designer. I would say that UX designer is the first guy who should start with, guy or a girl, doesn't matter, who should start with understanding from business requirements what should be done with this website. Because user experience designer, this person makes some analytics, like what kind of users we want to have on our website, and we need to understand their behavior, their patterns, so to build better website directly to this user group. It means user experience in easy words. And user interface designer, it's usual word of like usual web designer who just draws pictures and make some beautiful pictures on your website, like it's final version. So if you want to have a website which will sell your product, for example, very effective, then usually you need UX designer, because UX designer should understand better where exactly do you need to put button, all steps of your purchase forms, for example. So if you don't take UX designer, you can just lose your money after all, and you don't want. So I would recommend always find person who is an expert in UX, and then the same person could be at the same time UI designer as well. Then it will be UX and UI designer, and these guys usually expensive guys. So you can find them, no problem. In Luxembourg there are some very popular people in this area, and it's interesting. So another slide about I will explain what exactly UX designer does with this prototyping. As I said, that UX, he's just drawing like first version, like sketch, and here example, what kind of blocks do we need to show on our website. And actually there is also one good method how to do it. We start not with desktop design and prototype correctly. We start with mobile. It's called mobile first, logically. And so why it's like this? Because when you have small device, you have just a little bit space, and you need to understand what's the most important thing on your website, the most important feature, service or something like this. So you need to to be focused in this, what's the most important. And when you have bigger space, it's easier to understand what's next you can add there. If you will start with big screen like desktop, then in such case you put everything because there are a lot of space, and then it's harder to put everything to small device. So I would recommend start with mobile. And UI designer, when we already have all blocks, we understand where exactly should be button, maybe even how it should look like, then UI designer can start with these beautiful pictures and all styles. Designers usually before always used Photoshop for their designs, but now it's like old age, and we, as I see, all designers, they use firstly macOS for them. They use this program Sketch, and Sketch, as I remember, just for macOS. So that's why usually designers have macOS. And then they create all their prototypes, their designs in Sketch, and then they can upload to Figma. And Figma, it's like website, it's web servers. And in these web servers, you can in detail find all styles for each block. So if here I need to measure in Photoshop, I need to measure each block, which width of this block, then I need to select text and understand which font size there. I need to look in Photoshop tools for this, and I don't have like CSS coding immediately. Then I know that they have some tools for Photoshop. It has some tools for also like generating CSS code immediately. CSS code, I didn't explain what it is, but it's like styles for this design, which you can use directly on your website. In Figma, it's much easier. You just look on your website, click to any element, and you already see almost all CSS styles for this element. But here also there is some problem that not all styles you need from Figma. It's not so easy, so that's why not you cannot just use all styles from Figma and just put them to your website. But also I know that there are some tools which can port from a maquette to like real design to the HTML code. It also exists, but usually it costs some money as well, and it's not always perfect. And again, this picture, let's go deeply to this picture. When you download website, you need to understand that here on this monitor, on this display, you see interface of website. You can click on these buttons and etc, etc. But all data came, as you remember, from some server, remote server. And you need to understand that there are in web development there is different developers usually. First type of developers who creates these interfaces. Here it's what you see on website. And another developers, they work with data. For example, if you have a Facebook website, you look here on Facebook, you see your friends, your post, and all your feed, and etc. And backend server, this server generates you the data, like who exactly your friends. When you logged in, you need to understand your friends, exactly your post, not post from someone else. If you want to see your post, you need to understand this. And so when you work with this logic, business logic, it means that it's another developer, because these developers, they work with databases. Two different work. And so after this we have, as I said, front-end developer. It's sometimes called UI developer because user interface developer, and backend developer. It's what I explained just now. Sometimes this person also could be very skilled, and it will be full stack developer when you know front end and back end together. And in Russia, there are some jobs like HTML coder. Who is it? It's simple version of front-end developer. HTML coder, it's not like real programmer. It's person who just move design to HTML code. And just remember that UI designer, it's not the same like UI developer. It's sometimes people don't understand that it's not the same. It's very funny. But designer is who draws pictures and put some blocks, and they usually don't code. And developer, or sometimes engineer, front-end engineer could be a front-end developer or UI developer, and or sometimes it could be also programmer. These guys, they write code. Okay, and who is again HTML coder? As I say, they put design from like Photoshop or from Figma or to the code. Which code? We write our programs in HTML. It's a hypertext markup language, and it's like when you want to make some text, for example, bold, you click to the button. When you select the text, then you click to the button, make it bold. And HTML, it's something like this. You also need to put some comments to explain that this text should be bold. It works like this. I will show you in the end of our webinar how it works. So they create HTML code and CSS. And CSS, as I said, is styles, cascading style sheets. And this technology is responsible to make your blocks in HTML regarding to the design. So all styles and all design actually you put here, and here is the structure. But we will go deeply a little bit later. And front-end developer, as I said, it's bigger. It's a developer with bigger knowledges, and they know some special libraries. We call them like framework. For example, React and Angular is quite popular now. And a lot of different tools which we use to build our applications. Also, we need to know it, we need to understand how to set up it, how to work it, how to get data from backend side and to show them. Like, I need to have users, to show users, so I need to firstly to get the data about users, like what kind of user, name of user, yes, age of user, picture, avatar of him, and then you can show it. And this means that you're a front-end developer, and usually all frameworks and all this stuff we do with JavaScript, and all animation, not now animations we can make with CSS, but before JavaScript was created like for make dynamic websites, because CSS was not so cool as now, and we were not able to create websites with animations without JavaScript. Now we can, just with these two technologies, and JavaScript, it's real programming language. So yeah. Other professions, what we have is quality assurance engineer, tester. In an easy way, you're saying it's tester. It's who when I create website, someone should check it before I will deploy it to the server. So tester does it. Content manager, they put content to the website. And digital marketing, who will help you with how to make ads of your website, to like to get more users of on your website to do all this marketing stuff. Okay, we have a question. Which one is more common, more useful to learn, Angular or React, or maybe even Vue? It depends on country actually, because I saw in Russia that it was quite popular React. Of course, we also had Angular and Vue.js frameworks, but here I would say that React and Angular. Vue.js, there are some adepts of Vue.js, but it's not quite common to enterprise solutions, I mean to the big companies. So I would say here I see vacancies, jobs in with React requirements or Angular. I'm working currently in a Avalok company, and it's banking software, and we have Angular, because Angular it's framework with everything from the box, usually a lot of already inside. And React is less framework, but you need some other technologies to have the same functionality as an Angular. And it's not so cool when you have very big company, and it means that all people need to know, for example, for different projects, they need to know all these technologies. And when you have 2,500 people like in Avalok, you cannot explain all of them a lot of different stuff, which is very like unique for this company. It's quite hard to put new people to this project. So that's why they decided to use Angular, because if you use Angular in one company, you will have the same Angular in another company. But you need to understand that there are minuses in such a framework as well, because it's bigger and you don't need usually a full functionality of Angular. So I hope I answered the question. Okay, salaries and web development. We had a poll about this question in our social nets, and it was funny different answers. Which salary exactly in Luxembourg? It's not 10,000, sorry. But actually, I know people who, I heard that in Luxembourg some people have such kind of salaries, but usually they work with these municipal things, and not, unfortunately, not in development. But what should I say about salaries? I started my career in Russia, and in Russia, developers, they really in very, very good conditions, because teachers and doctors, they have much less salary usually. And web developer, even if you're junior in Moscow is the capital of Russia, if you're junior in Moscow, you will have bigger salary than, for example, my mom, who was like main accountant in Tver, and Tver is just 160 kilometers from Moscow. So I moved from my native city Tver to Moscow, and I had bigger salary than my mom. And I was not junior when I moved to Moscow. I was already middle developer. But anyway, now juniors have the same salaries, and my mom still have the less salary than developers. Sorry, here is my cat, and he is a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And about salaries again, that in Russia we have very, very big difference between development salaries in development in IT area, and salaries between another jobs. Sorry. And in Luxembourg it's another way. When I came here, I understand that I'm not so cool, because a lot of people have bigger salary here, and development is not like so really, really awesome. But I think it's good, because here I understand that people who make they work with hands, like I don't know how call this kind of jobs. Sorry, like some renovations in the house, for example, they have not much less salaries. And Julia wrote the average salary in Luxembourg. Yeah, it's around I think 4,000 euro for not junior developer, but I would say for middle developer, it would be 4,000 euro per month. I know people who has around, I would say 7 per month, 7,000 I think, but you need to be really very good in your area to have such salaries. And still, you need to remember that Luxembourg actually quite good place if you talk about a difference between prices in the country and between salaries. Switzerland as well. Switzerland is very expensive country, but Geneva, the second biggest city in the country, I think. In Geneva, I also saw that in tables that it's quite good, like this coefficient regarding balancing life and work, and like salaries and costs for your life. But the best place, as I understand, it's California. You have biggest salaries there. I also have biggest prices, of course, for houses everywhere in Switzerland, in Luxembourg, and in California. But anyway, the coefficient is quite should be quite good. Another opportunity, I would say, that if you're a remote developer, for example, you can live in, I don't know, in small village in Russia, or anywhere in any country, but you can work for example, California company remotely. It's possible. After COVID, it's definitely possible because a lot of good companies open their vacancies for remote jobs. And it's so cool because you can have really good salary and sit in your small city in absolutely like nowhere. It's good, but not for everyone because some people like to go to office. Okay, let's look at the statistics. About you see here entry-level software developer and senior software developer salaries, and different salaries, like for Switzerland, USA. Yeah, you see USA, it's because of California they have the biggest here. And also this is linked to the statistics, so you can actually later I will send you the link to the statistics. So it's quite good salaries, so I invite you to my course, which starts 8th of November, or 8th of February, November. It's quite soon. If you want to start with web development, you can start with our web course. And also we have different options for how you can to have less price. For example, if you will subscribe to our course until Monday, then you can have you can still have less price for it. And as well, we have several options to receive offer. If you invite your friend to our course as well, you can get 50 euro by cash. It's cool. Okay, so let's go further about programming languages. A lot of my friends from different areas, they think that it's so hard to be a web developer, that people just like think that it's only for very clever guys. And usually girls, they are a little bit afraid of it as well, because they think that it's not for girls. It's not true as well, and yeah, I would say that don't even think about it, that it's hard. Yes, it could be hard if you talk firstly about C++ development, but if we talk about JavaScript development, you can start with 5 minutes and already do some things with JavaScript. You can try, and if you like it, then you can go further. You can go deeply, and I know really dozens of people who change their profession, who really so happy that they changed it, and they even didn't have technical background, so they are not so good in math and mathematics. They just like to make user interfaces, because I am actually front-end developer. I was a web developer, like full stack, already 10 years ago. I worked 2 years as a full stack developer with PHP. It's programming language, in JavaScript. So I did backend part and front-end part as well. But later, when I moved to Moscow, in Moscow we have usually quite often companies, they split. We have a lot of front-end developers and a lot of backend developers. And to be full stack, usually it was just for small companies who cannot afford to have different teams, because they don't need, for example. So don't be afraid, and I can help you with this. About what kind of programming language do you want to learn? You can look at this funny picture. Don't be afraid of this. It's funny. It's like a game. You can start here and understand what exactly do you want to program, to code. And here they have different languages. Python language, it's a backend language. Java, backend language. Java quite often used in Luxembourg enterprise, and in banking sphere they quite often use Java. C# and C++, it's more for software development, so it's for Windows applications and for macOS applications. PHP is backend, web backend development language, and Ruby, it's also for web development, and C, it's like a low-level C++ language. Okay, and with Objective-C you can build applications for Android, as I remember. Or yeah, I think now they use Java. Let's see, Objective-C. No, it was for iPhone. You see here. If you prefer to build applications for iPhone, then this one, Objective-C. And now also they use Swift, as I know, not Objective-C. Okay, and here also want to show you funny thing, that if you look from which year, for example, 80, then this video about which languages were more popular. So if we start from 99 or even a little bit earlier, you see JavaScript on the third place, and if we go here, JavaScript on the second place. So JavaScript and our front-end stuff is so popular. Why? Because for backend, for working with database and with your users, like on your website or other backend task, you can use Python, you can use Java, you can use PHP, you can use Ruby, everything. But for like interface, usually we use JavaScript. There are some options, then sometimes you don't need JavaScript, or sometimes people use other things, but like I think 95 that people use JavaScript. That's why it's the most popular language. If you learn JavaScript and user interface, you always can find a job. It's good news. So I hope you were inspired how you can start. Let's start with understanding what we need for front-end development. And if you will have questions, write them. Okay. When we, again, as you remember, when you put URL, like for example, I go to this URL, slides.com, Vasilika, how to break into web development, and if I put this URL, I will get all my presentation, all these like pictures. So it means that I get HTML code of my page, I have CSS files, it's styles of this page. Sometimes, yeah, we have JavaScript. Of course, I have JavaScript because interactions with website, it's JavaScript. You cannot actually interact with only CSS. If you need like clicks on buttons, it's handlers of it in JavaScript, in programming language, and you download images. Okay, I also want to show you how you can check it. If you click right click by your mouse, you can inspect each web page on each website, and here we can look what we have. This tool, this thing, it's called development tools, and we have a lot of tabs here, a lot of tabs here. Don't be afraid, I will explain what it is. This code actually is HTML code, and this what we are going to write after presentation will finished. So this is HTML, and you see HTML, head, body, I will explain a little bit later, and all this stuff, all these blocks, you can check them, what we have, everything what we have on page we have here. And here we have stars. And if I want to understand what exactly were downloaded, I can go to network, but let's update the page because we can see all files of it only here when network was already opened. So we have a lot of files, and all these files were downloaded to your computer, to my computer now. And here you see this .css. It means these files are styles files. And JS, it's JavaScript, and HTML, it's HTML files. So HTML files, they look like, cannot open it, they look like this, but it's text, yeah, with such common blocks. So and CSS files, where we can find one, for example this one, something like this. It's just small one, it's not all styles for this website. And as well you can find pictures, like this one, for example, picture here were downloaded. And all pictures and all usually media content you can download from network, but sometimes it's tricky shown by JavaScript, so not always you can find all like videos so easy, but there are some plugins to browser which can help you to download the videos as well, because all this content which you put to your website, it could be downloaded. You need to understand, if you put some picture, someone can download it to their computer. So that's why people said everything what you downloaded to internet, it will be available always, because it's stored in some web server, some servers. So okay, so think when you download something. So we will come back to this development tool later, because for me it's like house because it's my home where I always can check everything. What I wanted to show you, to show some trick part, some funny part here. I had several situations in my life when people in my company, in company where I work, not in my company, they came to me and they said like, can you please change this text to this text? And I want to look like how big, how much space this text will take. And for me it was like, oh my god, I need to change the text in the file, in the sources of website. Then I need to upload it. Then the tester should check it on we call it staging, and on testing server. Then when tester will approve these changes, then we can download to the final server, which is open to everyone, not testing. Okay, also you can download it to testing server and show it to your colleague who wants to check. But there is much easier way to do it. You just go here. It's what I like to teach people from not our field, not our area. You can go to development tools, check the element what you want to fix, because all this, as I said, all these files, this HTML file already downloaded to your computer, so you can fix it. But you need to understand, if I put here, for example, something new, you see it here and see, oh, it's not so cool, it takes much space, I don't want it like this, I want, I don't know, just maybe this, okay. And you already can check it, but you need to remember, when I will refresh the page, the server will again show me a correct version of website, not this one which I fixed here, because here everything what I do, I even can delete this element. It doesn't mean that it will be saved somewhere. Even in my browser it's not saved. If I want to refresh the page and see original website, so I will see, of course, exact correct version. The same with styling. You can not only fix here and check different your theories, how it will look like. You can also to change styles. For example, what I want. If you want to change some colors, like here I found color, you can click here and play with this tool and say that, oh, I want green color, for example. Which one green? Oh, I want a little bit transparent. You can play with all this stuff. Then you can say, okay, I found a good color. You copy this color and give it to developer. And developer put it to the sources, and then in sources it will be deployed to the original server, and after refresh you can see this color, for example. So these small things that you actually can fix and check different. That's why some people, they can add some text and then make screen and that really it was written on the website, it was not written. You just change the text in your browser, and it's also funny jokes. So what is HTML? HTML, it's only bricks of your website. It's not a final version of website. If you see website only with HTML, it will be not so cool. I will show you which website I will show you. For example, I will show you, I think, yeah, I can show you this one. Let's try to delete styles and look how HTML will look like without styles. So I need to find that I have several style sheet files here, and I delete all of them. Okay, you see the difference. And I delete last one. And now I have only only structure with only pictures and without any styles. My buttons without styles, my pictures without styles. I don't have anything nice. And this is bricks, these pictures, this text, and this is really how it looks like HTML. So styles, they can change size of pictures. Yes, styles can make it even. I will show like this. Stars can make some like hover animations when your mouse put on your on some elements, and this is already JavaScript because this depends on mouse move, and you cannot detect mouse moving. I mean, to the left side or to the right side, to the top or to the bottom. You cannot detect it with CSS, but you can detect it with JavaScript, and this effect, it's called parallax effect. It's funny effect, I like it. And this also you can do with CSS, because in CSS, just with styling, with the easy way, you can do this stuff. I mean, when I tell you CSS, it means it's not programming language. It's easier. So let's come back. Let's start with HTML. Okay, what is HTML? HTML, it's like these blocks, and it consists of tags. We call it tag actually. Usually there are two tags. First tag which opens your the content what you put inside, and last tag is closing. So in some block of section, you can have title and description to this section. And for titles, usually we use this tag h and some number. There are six tags for headers. It's h1, h2, and h until h6. So P is like paragraph, it's P tag. It's also, you put the content which you see on your page inside between opening tag and closing tag. So you see just word description and you see the word title. Why they are different? Because in our browsers we have predefined styles for different tags sometimes. I didn't put any my styles here, it's default styles, because H2 it's like big header and it's important header. That's why it is using bold writing, and that's why it's bigger font size. So you need to remember this is like formula for you to understand the scheme how to use tags. Firstly, some tag name, and then the same tag name but with this sign. And all tags you can find here. You don't need to remember everything from the beginning. Actually, you will remember it after some work. When you create websites, you can remember it. And also the tags, quite often they use some attributes. There are also a lot of different attributes for different tags, and then attributes value. It could be sometimes predefined values for attribute. Sometimes you can write whatever you want there. It depends on attribute, and they help us to set up some tags. For example, if you want to put link, then you need to explain to which page, web page, you want to send your user. Make reference. Okay, then CSS. What is it and how to write it? Just as I showed you before, that HTML without CSS, disgusting. So we need to learn HTML plus CSS. This is the basic for front-end developer. You are not good front-end developer if you know only JavaScript. I didn't put to the presentation such jobs like JavaScript developer, but I think there is such people who know just frameworks like React. They start just with framework. They don't even sometimes know basics of JavaScript. But And sometimes they even don't know how to create really nice and adaptive websites. I mean, about HTML and CSS. So these people don't know HTML coding stuff, and it's not cool to be front-end developer like this. So here I want you to think a little bit. What do you think this code is doing? We already got to know with H2 tag with you. So try to understand what does it mean, all these strings, and I will show you later. Just I want you to a little bit to think. So write please in the chat what as you think this code will do. And while you're writing, I'm waiting you. I will say also that after webinar you can write a feedback form, and it would be so cool to read your feedbacks. And I hope that you read the article on HackerNoon website, which we prepared about also beginning in web development. If you still do not read it, so you can do it after webinar. It's this one article. You can find it in Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, everywhere, and all our social nets, and just also to help you to be better oriented. So I'm waiting your answers. It creates header, yes, subheading with green color, bolded, all uppercase, size 40. Yeah, of course. Uppercase, it means that all letters in this will be uppercase. It looks like this. So we wrote the styles only for this tag, yeah? We did not put anything for paragraph. Correct, super. Thank you. So you need to understand that here we write selector, we call it selector, which shows with which exactly element we are working now. And here we write expressions, we write pair of property. It's color, font size, font weight, text transform. It's property names, and they are predefined always. So you can look here, all predefined properties, and sometimes we have also predefined values for these properties. For example, uppercase, it's predefined, yes, but if you put green color in words, it means that you can put here actually not a word, you can put here hex string, which I showed you before. It also means that we write the color like this. So it's quite easy, right? You can even read the code and understand what's going on here. It's super cool. And now I just want you to show example of website with amazing JavaScript coding. We need a little bit wait because it uses 3D stuff like WebGL, if you know. When I'm speaker at conferences, quite often I talk about WebGL and 3JS framework, because in my previous job I worked with this. And here you see this effect. Firstly, again, you see this 3D model on website. It's the behavior of this model, the position, depends on my cursor, you see. Super cool. Then you see how the title reacts with mouse as well. It's JavaScript, it's not CSS, it's coding, and it's not so easy, but I show you very cool examples. Then I'm scrolling. Actually, this website really about corn. It's like farmers, and you see how everything moves. It's not a video. You need to understand the difference. It's not video, because video you just click start and it goes. And here it depends on your scroll. So this is 3D model, and you, with scrolling, you change the camera position of this model. So, and here also we have some buttons, and here we have progress of our screens, and it means that we are going from first part of this website. And now we have this, and we can go and it will disappear. You see, you could see before something like this on Apple websites, because you also scroll, and when you scroll back, some elements, they like disappear and appear at some moments. It depends on scrolling position. And so what's so cool for me here, that you see it's not so easy to create it, and even for me it would be really a lot of work to do it, and I can find a lot of new stuff which I can learn when I will do such a website, but I approximately can understand how to do it, with which technologies at least. So here also it's like menu, and you see it's the third screen, and after third part, where are we now? We again in the beginning. You see, you never can do it with JavaScript, to put your start of website to the end, so it's endless scrolling of these scenes. You need to think, do you need it or no? But they decided to do it because it's like a funny movie. You scroll and you see. And it's just marketing website for corn, for really for farm stuff and all this. It's amazing, right? So I will close it because it eats a lot of resources. Okay, let's try it. We will start with VS Code. You can download it and install, and I will show you a small example of how we can build web page with a little bit HTML and CSS. If you like it and you want to learn more, you can subscribe to our course and start with me, and we have like 20 hours of course, and I will teach you how to create web pages on our course. So let's start. I have a folder already here with 3 pictures, and I will show you a small example with these pictures. First of all, we need to create HTML file, because as I said, website, firstly it's some HTML file. And how I need to call it? We understand that first of all we need to put in the end .html, the extension of the file, and the name of the first file, it's usually index. Why? Because when you open a web page, index.html it's the file which will be opened even if you don't put anything. For example, I have SkillUp.lu, and my file actually is here, index.html file. If I open it, it will be the same website, but if I even don't put precisely which HTML file I need, by default all websites they took this index.html. So that's why the first file, the main file on your folder, on this structure, should be called as HTML, as index.html. And when if you use VS Code, when you created file with name and then .html, then this program already understands that we are talking about HTML file. It will show such icon here. It means that, okay, we are talking about it. And we can use such useful case like this. And we already have small structure of our website. It's very fast. If I don't put it, you see, here we have several texts. I will explain later what exactly it, but let's try it without everything. Like I write hello world as usual. So then how I can open this page? I can click here, then reveal in Finder and open here. Now I see hi world. Let's inspect this page. What do we have? We have HTML tag, head tag, and body tag. We have them here, but we don't have them here. Why? Because browsers now are so clever that they put like them already by default, and they put all your content which you see here to the body tag, because this tag which we use to as container for everything on your web page. So, and in network we can see, if we go and update the page, we can see we have index page, preview of this page, and like the code of this page. Okay. So, but it's not good because each HTML file should be in correct structure, and this is correct structure. So I will put my text here. I want to see it on the page. That's why I put it to the body. Let's go quickly. What is doc type? Doc type is like we say what kind of standard of HTML we use to show this picture. When we write it like this, it means that we use last version of HTML, and all browsers understand, okay, this last version of HTML. Before we had different standards, it was not so easy to understand what exactly they were shown in different ways in different browsers. It's not cool. It's like zoo in browsers and different standards. So okay, we always now use like this. Then HTML tag. HTML tag is container just for two tags, head and body, and it's like three really the main tags: HTML, head, and body. HTML. If I click here, you see I can close it, and so it's container of everything, and inside we have two tags, head and body. Body, as I said, for showing all content on web page, and head, what we have inside. So language in HTML, it's attribute, as I said. Do you remember that on scheme on our presentation it was attribute, and here some attribute value. So we put attribute after space. We can here have a lot of spaces, but it's no need to put spaces, because all spaces is bytes, and then more spaces you put, more memory you use for this. You don't need it. So we put the HTML tag and then attribute language. Why we put this on language? It means English, of course. We put it because if you need to read your web page, you know that there are people with disabilities, or some even people with like without disabilities. Some people even prefer to use voiceover to read web page because their hands, for example, are busy with something, so they just put it and read the article. So you need to explain what kind of language for words on your page, in which voice they need to know and how to understand the language. So that's why you put your language. And if you have several languages, it means that you need to change this attribute to different, like Russian or Luxembourgish, Lu, or something else. I'm not sure that in Luxembourgish they can read it. Okay. So then in head we have some technical information about our web page. Here we have meta tag. Meta tag, it's a very common tag we use for different things, but it depends on attribute which you use for this tag. So here is char set. It's explain what kind of symbols you can use on your web page. UTF-8, it means that you use the biggest I think set of any symbols. Why it's important? For example, there are some char set just only for Cyrillic letters, and it's not cool, because even if I create website with Cyrillic symbols, then if I have comments on my website and someone comes and writes some with hieroglyphs, then it will not be even very good shown. And also char set, it's quite important for database which you use. Like if someone comes to your website and write their names, his name with some symbols which you don't have, it means that you cannot save it as it was written on website. So UTF-8, sorry, you just need to use it to be able to show as much symbols as we have. So this tag is just for adaptive websites. It means that it will be very good adaptive for mobile. It's the first step to make your website adaptive. And then title. I will change title. Save. You see, save. If I make changes, and here I see this circle, round, then it means that you didn't save your file. If I want to save, it's like this, or you can file, save here, and now I just go. I don't see immediately changes here. I need to refresh the page. Firstly, let's look here. Then now we have first page. It's the name of our page, title. And here also you are able to change icon, of course, like here, but it's another tag. It's not today. So next, what we are going to do? I want to put all these pictures to my page, and I can do it different ways actually. I can put picture with quite popular text image, or take picture. It's also different text. But I will not do it. I can just show for a small example how to do it. If I want to show like panda, this picture, panda picture, I need to put here in this attribute, src is like source, short version. I put here name, and already see it helps me. So that's all. Let's update the page. And I see it panda picture. But for me, it's not the way how I want to do it, because I want to see my web page that this picture will be like a background. It can help me to make easy effects, style effects. So I remove this image, and we can put here style tag, and here we can write styles. Actually, it could be, firstly you can write styles here, I will show now, and then we will put all styles to the file and other, because it's very good way to do things, that you split HTML, CSS, JavaScript into different files, not put everything inside in one file, because you can write JavaScript in this tag, but we don't do it. So, for example, let's put here, I will put here several tags more, because I have 3 pictures, so I will have 3 different sections. And each section, I will remove this hi world, each section actually will have header and some text inside. So header we will put as h2 again. Why h2? Because usually when we use h1, the biggest header, it should be just one on the page, but I have 3 sections and they are equal, so I will put h2 tag and put different names. I have insects section, insects, then animals, and then birds section. It's first thing where we start. Then I want to have all sections to the whole viewport. What is viewport? It's this first screen which we see on website. So if I will show you on our website, for example, viewport is from here to here to here. So it stops somewhere here. It's our viewport. It's first screen which we see. Then this will be already like next scrolling part of our website. So I want insect to the whole viewport, then animals to the whole viewport, and then birds. How I can do it? First of all, I can write something like this. Section tag, as you remember, we put h2. Now I need to write styles to section element. I put this tag name section, put it here, and then I can write here styles. For example, I want height for whole page. I can write it as VH. It's special value to explain that viewport height. Now you see each section for whole like this screen. So it's enough. Now I want to put different picture to different sections, and here I don't understand how I can deal with them. So if this section should be with one picture, okay, I can write here first try to do it like background and put here URL and link to the insects. Okay, insects, we have butterfly, okay, this picture. Okay, background butterfly. Then we have on this section background butterfly, and all sections have the same background. It's obviously right because we put to all sections. Then how I can to make difference between different sections? I use special attribute class for this. So I need to have different class names for this. Class, it's predefined word. Then I need to put some value, and here I can create everything what I want in my head, but usually we create class names short one, but logically words for what aim this element is. For example, this section of insects, so I can write here insect or insect section, for example, right? It will be more obvious. So it's first class. Then each section should have unique class, and here it will be animal section, and here it will be bird section. I put usually in without s, just to make it easier. You can put everything here, whatever you want, but you need to, if you want to make styles create styles for this element, you need to copy it and put here the same as you wrote here. Otherwise, if you put here without one letter, it will not work. So for insect section, we put here butterfly. For another section, we put next section is animal, and next section is bird. I copy paste. You see, I quite often use copy paste. It's the most frequently used hotcakes. Command C, Command V, or Control C, Control V. So, and here for animals I put panda, and here peacock. Okay, let's check it now. What we got? Okay, now we have different backgrounds. But what I don't like this small, you see, some indents, and I cannot explain a lot about it. Let's just look what it is. I mean, I don't want to go deep now because we don't have so much time. So explain it in an easy way. For example, I click here. You see, we can debug all elements. And when I put here section, I see my element, this section. Then I click here section animal, and I see some blue color on this element. And if I put to the body, you see, I see everything, all content inside body, it's like blue one here, and this beige color or orange color, something like this. It's actually this indent, first indent between these elements. So I want to remove it. And as I said, all browsers, they have predefined styles, and we see here these styles for body. Margin 8 pixels, and here you see a very nice scheme of it. So this is content, this is paddings, it's indents inside the element, then we can have border, and then we can have margins. I will just remove it. How I can do it? I can just write body, margin, what we saw there, and I will put 0 here. So now it will be, look here, I will refresh the page, and now I have this stats, margin 0, and this is not used anymore. And I can even check where it was written in index.html file here. So I promised you that we will write it in another file, so I need to create this file. For example, main, not main, I will call it style.css. So how, if I put all this code here, like this, save this file, and remove this style tag, I don't need it anymore, and save. Do you think that it will work? No, it will not work. So what do I need? I need to connect my index.html and explain somehow where this file should find my styles. Where are they? They in the style.css file. So I link it. I put link, then I click tab, and all this structure of the tag I see. And here in href, it's like reference to the file of of style sheet. So here I can put the name of my file, like this, style CSS. And now they're connected. How we can check it? Now I update the page, and everything works. And now I can check that style CSS is here, it works, no problems. But let's try, for example, I forgot one letter, I put it here like this, but my file called style CSS. I refresh the page, and here I see the error. I can see also the error here, and we can read the errors to understand what's going on, not right. You can read get, and then file blah 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 blah, this name, error file not found, and we click, where is this error? Here we don't have this file, you see, and here also we see it, it's red color, not found. It means that something is not correct in your path or in your name somehow. So if I put back L and refresh the page, all files were downloaded. The same will be with all picture. If you put some mistake there, you will not see the file. So cool. Now I want to remove also this margins. You see, each H2 has predefined margins, and that's why we have these white borders as well. I don't like them, so I need to remove margins for H2 as well. But I will write it for all H2 here and remove firstly margin 0. Okay, now we don't have any white things yet, right? But what we can see, that some pictures are quite big, like this butterfly. Some pictures are small. I put especially there in different sizes, so you can see the problems of it. By default, if picture is smaller than the size of the element by pixels, then you will see it's like this. It will be repeated. And here peacock also, maybe we want another part of this picture. How we can deal with it? There is special styles like background position, for example, we can use some indents for it, but we need currently in this situation background size. And here there are some contain and cover different values predefined for this, and I would like to use cover now. It means that it will always cover all my block. Now it's the same. Just firstly I want to remove repeat. So if picture is small, I don't want repeat. Let's try this. Pardon me. We need to put it not to. No, we need to, yes, to put to section. So what's wrong? Let's check why I don't see my changes. Right. I forgot that I put here URL image to the background, and it means that background it's a property which consists of size, repeat, and everything. You can put it to the one string, and actually to make my life easier, properly to write whole how to write correctly property which directly is responsible of URL of image. So background image. Now these properties will be applied to my elements as well. So now I have panda and it's covering of elements, and I have peacock, and now it's much nicer, right? Super cool. So now I don't like these words that they're very close to the borders. It's not cool. It's disgusting actually. And for example, here I even don't see the text, right? So let's make some small changes, and let's change it for different sections. Firstly, I want to put it inside some other div element. For example, this animal header h2 tag I want to put inside div. What I'm going to do? I put div its opening tag, then its closing tag, and inside this div it's animals. And here I want to write class, for example, animal description, for example, like this. And why I want to do it? Because I don't see this header, and I want to have like a wrapper with background. We can use it like this also, and then I want to make some transparent small background, small element to make my life easier to read the text on it. So RGBA, it's another way to write colors. It means red, green, blue palette, and then alpha, it's transparency. And I use dark black color with transparent, with half transparency, like 50%. So if I write it like this, you see, it's like small shadow. If I write it like 1, it's not transparent at all. I can't see anything. So I need this. Then what I want actually that all our H2 elements, they will be with indents inside. With indents inside, and indents I will put in pixels as well. You will see like 30 pixels, for example, and now we have 30 pixels here, 30 pixels here. Let's check it on the scheme again. I take insects, check this element, and here we have the scheme. Now we have these paddings. We made margin 0 because we don't need external indents, but we need internal index, and that's why I put it. What does it mean, internal? It means that if I put background like here, yes, then background will be on this padding as well. So this is like inside element. And if I put margin, then it will be, then background is not applied to these units or with margins. But okay, it's not so important for now. We will try it on our course more deeply. So let's just look here, and I need to change the color, but not for all headers. Like, for example, here insects, it's okay. And here I don't see birds and I don't see animals. I want them white, with white color. How I can do it? If I write white color here, how I can write white? First of all, I can write like this, but it's not good practice. It's better to write with hex codes, and hex codes, we write them from 0 to F letter, 16 symbols, from 10 digits and then 6 letters, A, B, C, D, F. So FFF, it's white color, and 000, it's black color, and all other colors, it's mixed of these symbols. So if I write it like this, then all of them are white, but I don't need this one white. So I can deal with it with classes, right? And how I can do? I need for animal section, I can copy it and put here animal section, color white, right? But I need not for section, maybe I need just for header. So I can write it like this: section, and inside this section find H2 element and make it color FFF. The same thing I need for bird section. I also want it. If I want to put 2 rules inside, I need to write comma, then another selector. Then this code will be applied to first selector and to the second selector. So I'll refresh the page. Yeah, birds, animals, insects. So now we have it more clear. We can put some text as well here. So yeah, etc. You can, if you don't understand something, please ask questions, because I just want to show you the last property which I really like. So the reason why I put here background and didn't use images for this example, it's because I want to show you this very funny property, background attachment with predefined value fixed. with this string, the behavior, how we scroll elements will be different. Just look now. When I scroll, you see that first section was here. Now we have half first section, half second section, and now like half second section and half third section. It's usual way of scrolling websites. But if I refresh the page with our new property background attachment, and I can scroll, look what's going on. You see that now we see just half of the picture for first section and half picture of the second section, and only when you put it to the top you can see the whole picture of the second section, and now the same with third one. It's more like nice effect. It's just one string of styles. So all these JavaScript animations or style animations, they actually are not really hard. You just need a little bit logic to understand how to connect one to another, and that's all. So don't be afraid and try. This is with our this is then with our small example with web page. You can put your pictures here. I will send later this code which we wrote together with you, so you can, yes, it could be already your easy static web page, like my name, blah 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 blah, this picture it's about me, this is my family. So that's all, one page, you have a website. Easy, cool. Okay, if you want to know more about it, again, come to our course. You really will not regret it, I promise. And this is not true. I think everyone who really wish to be a developer, to know coding, actually whatever you want. If I want to be, I don't know, a singer, I can be a singer. It's not a problem. You just need to learn, to make effort, and that's all. Don't forget, please, to fill feedback form. And yes, if you register to our course until Monday, you can have less price for the course than now on website. And if you want to talk directly with me, you can go to our Zoom room now with me and ask any questions by your voice. I will be glad to get directly feedback from you if you want. And so that's all for today. I'm glad that you were with us, and see you next time. Bye, guys. We need a link, yes, to the after party, to the Zoom. Please copy it, because otherwise you just when we stop translation, this chat will be deleted. So if you want to ask questions now, please write them now in chat if you want to write them. And if you want to go to the Zoom, then copy this link with all these credentials, like password to the Zoom room. And yeah, I will wait you sometime here or there. Okay, I don't see any questions there. In YouTube. Yulia, should we close the translation, do you think? Ты не слышишь меня? Should we close the translation on YouTube? Юля? Да? Не слышу тебя.
Yeah, I'll close.
Okay. Okay. I'm stop streaming on YouTube.